What's going on, folks? Oh god, that is really bright. Yeah, when I left, I swear it was raining, and the roads are still wet. Anywho, how's it going? My name's Renegade. Thank you for coming back to my channel. Again, if you are already subscribed to me. If not, hit that subscribe button. I got something cool coming up. Very cool project, or at least I think it's going to be. I'm going to hope that you guys are going to like it too. Jeez, that is right. But before getting into that project, I figured I'd stop and I'd talk about something. If you aren't already subscribed to me, you know that I've been working on vehicles for a while. I've shown a few projects so far, working on my 1993 XJ600 Yamaha, and you've also seen me do a little bit with this car, my 87 Volvo 245. But big question that some people are probably wondering is, what makes me qualified to put this out on YouTube? Oh, for those of you who've been keeping up to date, hand is getting better. Thank heavens. It's really, really bright, and it's glaring off the road, and I didn't bring my sunglasses. But I did think I was going to need them. Look at this. That's what I'm trying to look at. Why should you listen to me when it comes down to anything car related, motorcycle related, mechanical related? Well, I mean, if you listen to me, that's up to you. But I'm not just some idiot trying to figure things out. Like, I do have a working knowledge of how to do things. My family grew up with, let's just say, not a lot of money. And it led to my father doing work on the cars. He had learned earlier on in life, and as always, still learning, ever learning. It's an always learning process. But because he didn't have a whole lot of money, rather than taking the cars to the shops, he would just do them himself. Now, my father has worked as a mechanic in a licensed shop before. Me, never. I just work at home. But you know, it got to a point where I was growing up that my father decided it'd be a good idea to kind of get me to at least lend a hand when need be. And I started kind of picking up little things. But fast forwards a little bit, now I have a basic knowledge of, or at least some idea how some things are done, and I just started tinkering a bit. When I was in high school, I had a bicycle that I would ride. That was my transportation, because I didn't have my license yet, I didn't have a car yet, but I had a bicycle. I want to get somewhere, ride the bicycle. And you know, things would have to be done on it, so I learned to work on it. I got pretty good at it, you know. I can basically take apart a bicycle and put it back together. You know, all that fun, happy, slappy jazz. Well, fast forward a little more. Now I've got my car. Bought my first car. And actually, this is it. This car is my very first car. Bought it in 2005. I then had to deal with the same thing my father dealt with. I didn't have much money. So when things needed to be done, I had to do them. And my father helped me with some of the first projects, because I didn't know anything about cars. Well, not that I didn't know anything about it, but I didn't know as much. So he helped me with some of them. But a lot of it was, well, you want it done, you do it. So that's how I learned. I learned by doing. I learned by necessity. Because I'm not spending a ton of money to go get my car looked at and then worked on when I can just do it myself. And when I need to learn to work on it myself. Yeah. So, I learned all the basic routine repairs. I did have to learn some repairs that weren't necessarily routine. You know, like, if your muffler goes bad, it's not a routine thing, but it needs to be taken care of. Well, had to do that, learn that, learn to diagnose things like when my coil went bad, when my oxygen sensor went bad, because this car doesn't have an onboard diagnostic system. There's no check engine light on here. So anytime the car starts acting funky, it's my responsibility to figure out why. So I learned things like that, learned how to diagnose, learned how to do the repairs. Then, while I was working at AutoZone actually, slinging parts, and hanging out with a couple friends who were also into cars and watching car things. I mean, we're talking, this was, let's see, I worked in AutoZone 2009, so it was after the craze of Pimp My Ride. Overhauling was still on TV, and of course, you know, there was still the talk about the Fast and the Furious, and watching things like that. Pinks, I believe, was still on TV. If anyone remembers that show. This glare is seriously killing me. That and the spray that's coming up off these cars. But watching stuff like that, like, I really got into custom cars. Not show cars necessarily, but custom flair. So of course it became me wanting to learn how to do that. You know, you learn some stuff and you start to apply it, and then you learn more along the way. I can barely see, seriously. I think I'm gonna stop home and grab some glasses. So I started to learn how to customize things. It started with something as simple as a long ram cold air intake on this car. Then it was, I think I put the voltage gauge in to keep myself from running into a problem with my voltage. Like a bad alternator ground or whatever. I wanted to be able to read it and check and know right off the bat. And then it became another thing. And then another thing. All the meanwhile, I've got my first bike. 1982 Yamaha XS 400. Now this was the Max. So at the time I had my XS 400, my Maxim 400, whatever you want to call it. And same thing. Learned to work on it a little bit. Learned the necessities. My chain went bad. I learned how to put a chain on. It's a little bit different than your bicycle chain, to be honest with you. Alright, that's a little better. I had to stop home and grab some sunglasses. It was too bright. Of course, now there's cloud cover again. It all worked because I managed to grab a couple of last minute tools, the last couple of checks for a trip that Victoria and I will be taking this weekend. We're actually going to Washington, D.C. for the weekend. So, gotta make sure the car is in trim and proper condition. So what was I saying? Yeah, so I had the XS 400 and it was running great. And I got a little squirrely and the custom bug bit me. I wanted to adjust the way that it sat. I wasn't too comfortable with it. It was very upright and I always felt like it was designed for a smaller person than I am. I'm not a very big guy, okay? But I'm very, how best to put it? I'm built like a spider. I'm all legs and arms. So for me, it was very uncomfortable because the way that you had to sit there, the way the handlebars like rose up and came back at you, it wasn't good. So that was the first thing, was to adjust the angle of the handlebars. And then it was adjusting the ride position. And then you need to have an awesome looking paint scheme on your motorcycle. If it's gonna be cool, it's gotta look cool. I did the lighting underneath, LEDs under the gas tank and the airbox so that the motor would shine. Then, of course, it was a custom gauge cluster because mine had gotten destroyed. And then it was this, and it was this. So I did all the stuff. Unfortunately, that bike got hit and totaled. I wasn't on it. Put that out there. I was not on it. But it was hit. It was totaled. I mean, completely done for. Years go by. Years go by. And one day I'm on Facebook, and this bike practically leaps out at me. A Yamaha sport touring bike, 600 cc's, 1993. And a bump. And it needed a lot of work to get up and running. Now by this point, I've already done a lot. I've done work on the car. I had also rebuilt the motor in this car. I also had done a transmission conversion. This car actually used to be an automatic. Yeah, that had to go. Now it's a stick shift. I'd done all this work on the car. The car is in great running condition. Bought the motorcycle. Had to get it in running condition. And of course, along the process, I had to customize it. I didn't like the teal color, so it went to being black and red. Got all that taken care of. Then I wasn't completely happy with the ride position, so I changed that. Now we have the sport bike position that you've seen if you've watched any of my previous videos riding that bike. Yeah, I've done a lot. This whole tale of the things that I've done spans, what, since 2006, when I had to do my first car project on my car, to now. I'll say 2006 to 2018, that's 12 years. For 12 years, that is what I've done. I've taken a fully stock car, modified it a bit, just to make it a little bit better. I've taken a motorcycle that had a very classic upright position and customized it to be a cafe racer inspired motorcycle. Also adding a little performance to it as I went. I've taken a beat down, run down, no longer running, missing parts motorcycle that had been sitting for over 2 years at the time I bought it. Got that back to being roadworthy and fully customized. Going from a sport touring bike to a sport bike. And of course, adding performance as I went. I don't think I'm an expert. I will never claim that I'm an expert. But I do know a bit. I'll also tell you I don't always do things exactly the way they're supposed to be done. Look at this weird cloud line real fast. It's a weird line of clouds. We're gonna get some more rain. Having helped my dad for years, not just working on cars, but going to the junkyard and pulling parts, I've learned a few tricks, a few junkyard dog tricks. And I implore them. And I employ them. There have been plenty of times where I've done something on one vehicle that isn't necessarily the common thing. Oh, I drove all the way down to the end. Look at that. Dead end. I got to pull a U-turn acquired. Well, K-turn. my bike, for instance, my XJ. There are parts on that bike that I made. There are parts on that bike that I used from a different model motorcycle because I knew it fit, because I knew it would work. Over the course of 12 years, and plus some, of course, you know, I've learned junkyard dog tricks, making things work when they need to, able to look at things in a slightly different manner. I've learned to take apart a car and put it back together. I've learned to rebuild a motor, change transmissions. I've messed with carburetors and tuned them, customized them. I've messed with air intakes, exhausts, braking systems, suspension systems, the whole 9 yards. Interiors, added bits, removed bits. I got a lot of experience. Granted, it's only on a few vehicles, but it's still a fair amount of experience for some dude just working out of a shed. I hope you've enjoyed this look down memory lane. My memories, some of these you guys have never seen, never heard of. But I hope you enjoyed it anyways. I hope now you've got a little bit of a clearer picture as the type of mechanic that Renegade is. And that's going to do it for me today. There's more reason as to why I tell you all this, but that's coming in another video. Soon, I hope. We have to see. But for right now, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below. I'll get back to as many as I can. And as always, follow the social media links that are linked down below in the description, and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified when I upload videos. Trust me, I got something cool coming up. I've mentioned it a few times. Got a big, cool project coming up. If you're interested in mechanical work and custom work, you're going to want to stay tuned to this. You're going to want to keep up to date. Until next time, folks, I'll see you later. Keep rocking and rolling. I'm going to keep taking care of business. I'll see you all in the next video.